the good practices between the government of the Gambia and the European Union for the efficient operation of the identification and return procedures of persons without authority to stay, and two, the operational conclusion on return modalities in the context of the implementation of good practices on return between the Gambia and the EU. Honorable members, this is necessitated by the fact that the said documents were only submitted to the Office of the Clerk for the general information of this Assembly and the fulfillment of a request made by some honorable members during the previous session of the Assembly. Unfortunately, the Office of the Clerk mistakenly took it as a request for consideration and ratification, while it was only meant for circulation to honorable members. Only the switch agreement was requesting for consideration. Therefore, the agenda has been amended to reflect only the switch agreement submitted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for ratification. Thus, at the appropriate time, the Honorable Minister will be invited for his business for today. Honorable members, the Office of the Clerk apologizes for any inconvenience this might have caused. I thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I want to inform this August Assembly that my ministry did not seek for the ratification of the Gambia-Swiss agreement. The Office of the Clerk requested from my ministry signed agreements relating to immigration, which was shared following which we review an agenda. We receive an agenda with 3 items to be ratified, including this agreement. There are requirements and procedures that should be followed before a motion is sent to this Assembly for ratification of an international agreement. This includes it being discussed at cabinet level and at the Foreign Service Committee before it is brought to the Assembly. Furthermore, we have to pursue our national interests in whatever agreement we sign before ratifying it. There are parts of the agreement that need to be fulfilled by the parties before it could be ratified by the National Assembly. On that note, I propose that due process be followed before tabling a motion for the ratification of this agreement.
Honorable Minister, your motion, are you withdrawing it?
I beg to withdraw it, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, any seconder for the motion first? Yes, Honorable Member for all Yundum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, we've heard what the Honorable Minister said, and he has moved a motion, and the motion is seconded. It will not be debated. I put the question. He said what? Members, now let me put the question. Those in support of the motion for withdrawal, please raise your tags. All right, I have jumped the gun. No. The ayes have it. Hon- Honorable Minister, we would request that before documents are sent to Parliament, it is seriously reviewed by the executive to ensure that it follows all the relevant procedures before it's tabled at Parliament. We want to urge the executive to look into that, and please do that. So the bill is now withdrawn. The motion is withdrawn, and now let
Honorable,
me yes?
Honorable Speaker, with your permission,
Who is Minister? Yes, go ahead.
I would like to shed light on the good practice document with your permission.
Honorable members, the Honorable Minister has just withdrawn the agreement with the Swiss government. Earlier in my statement, I told you that the Office of the Clerk had included for ratification by this Parliament some other documents which initially were meant for your consumption based on your request. But the Office of the Clerk thought it was sent for ratification only when they read the letter. They came to realize it was for you and it was circulated. I think it's on those bases that those circulated documents is what the Honorable Minister wants to make certain information to you. Yes, Honorable Member for Latitude.
There is an established practice here. If the Honorable Minister withdrew, you understand? We thought that he has withdrawn everything. But if he wants to shed light on the good practice agreement, I'm speaking, please.
Honorable, I told you, please be patient with what somebody. He has a right to an opinion. Please.
If he asks a question,
Honorable member, can you go ahead?
On that agreement, that means that he's going to read from that agreement. Will that attract debate or not? That's my question. After
now,
on it.
No, what is happening is a document had been put on the record mistakenly by us, that's the Office of the Clerk. And that document is withdrawn. I've given you all the explanations behind. It's not meant for ratification. But it's a document that he believed that you people have received, he circulated to you people, and he should want to shed light on those documents for you to better understand it. And he can do that for you people. That's going to be, I think that informs you better and puts you in good stead. Honorable Minister, can you go ahead?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to shed some light on the good practice document that was also put on the agenda without our request. The good practice document is a standard operating procedure.
Sorry, Honorable Minister, I think you have just told that the member for Busumbala had his tag up.
Very well, Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much. Honorable Speaker, we just want to be clear whether if the statement made by the clarification made by the minister will be subjected to further questioning to observe the one hour period of that interaction between the minister and the members.
No, it is not for debate or questioning. All what the minister, the document circulated to you is, I think most of you, I think you have the documents by now. He wants to throw more light on that document for you to better understand the document given to you. If at any time you have that document, you want the minister to come and do some things or for you to ask him questions, you are a parliament, you request for that and he comes. Can the Honorable Minister continue, please?
The good practice document is a standard operating procedure for managing the return of Gambians who have exhausted the rights to stay within the European Union. It is a readmission arrangement or a memorandum of understanding on the modalities for return, which was not signed by either parties, and it is not an international agreement that will require the National Assembly's ratification. It was agreed by both parties in 2018 as a memorandum of understanding, and its implementation started in 2019 with the development of operational conclusion on return modalities. The operational conclusions reflect the outcome of the MOU with a view to ensuring a proper implementation of the good practices on returns between the Gambia and the European Union. The operational conclusions operationalize the good practice document. The purpose of the good practice document and its operational conclusion is to ensure that the readmission of our nationals follow due process, including exhausting their rights, legal remedies to stay, their dignified return, our reception capacity, and their reintegration. As a government, we have developed a coherent policy in managing irregular migration as enshrined in the National Migration Policy 2020 to 2030. Consequently, it is the government's responsibility to discourage the youth folk from embarking on such perilous journey to Europe. However, the government has not and will not arrange or facilitate the return of anyone without due process being followed. In ensuring a comprehensive and mutually beneficial partnership on migration with the European Union and member states, the Gambia has been engaging the European Union, and this engagement will continue in a bid to consider the plight of our nationals that are currently within the European Union jurisdiction and have been law-abiding, and to consider them for integration. However, the removal or return of Gambian nationals from any European member state is exclusively the purview and authority of that country, while under international customary law, the Gambia as a country of origin for any of our nationals who have exhausted all their legal remedies to stay in that country has the responsibility and obligation to readmit them. The Gambia has been a beacon of hope and a good example of democracy. Hence, for the partners, it is our considered view that this should be the time to offer more support to the Gambia and not sanctions. Today, as we speak, migration continues to be an important foreign policy issue for the government. The ministry is currently faced with huge challenges on the repatriation of stranded Gambian migrants, and we need to engage in a national conversation about irregular migration, and it costs the lives of our able youth. This is a national issue beyond partisan politics and requires concerted efforts from the communities, families, National Assembly members, SOEs, and NGOs. Many tragedies affecting Gambian migrants traveling irregularly has cost this nation enormously. An unfortunate situation is the boat carrying 39 migrants from Gunjur that went missing, and until today, for over a year, their whereabouts cannot be established. There are 169 migrants currently stranded in Niger, awaiting our repatriation. Over 100 migrants are currently in Libyan immigration detention centers, awaiting repatriation to the Gambia. How many Gambian youths are mentally ill and are in the streets of Italy and other European countries? These are few examples to show the danger associated with irregular migration. We acknowledge the importance and how much remittance is coming to this country that is sent by migrants to support their families. However, this is no excuse for taking a risk that will cost one's life. The government has been preoccupied again and again in repatriating our stranded nationals from Libya, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, and Niger. It is not fair on the government that when it repatriates hundreds of its nationals overseas who are stranded, it is not recognized. But when it readmits our nationals that have exhausted their rights to stay in another country, it is blamed. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that clarity. Clerk, Honorable Minister, we will excuse you, and we want to thank you very much.